Good day, everyone. Welcome to the channel. It's been about a week since my last practice, and my biggest thing that I was focusing on was my ass being on the line. And I made some conscious changes, and I wanted to share some of the swings. So let me draw some lines. And I'm sure this happens to all of you guys, which happens to me a lot too, where you go with like one or two things to try to work on, and then you start kind of digressing off of that tangent to something else, and then by the time you're through like two, three, four, five buckets, like you're not done experimenting or playing with it, and you're done. I mean, you have so many balls. So on this one, like something like that happened as well, but there were good things where like I guess the biggest thing is I was able to keep my swing shorter, and this one isn't it, but my 6 iron has that nature. So but let me kind of compare myself with different ball striking of Mo and see where these are at. So here's my address. This is an 8 iron, and going through, let me kind of go through here. Here, let me go slower here. So do the first move. It's not inside yet as much, and my ass is relatively on the line, but I would like that have more inside. Again with Mo, yeah, see how in that goes, and it's so behind him right now. Like for me, like see Mo, like Mo's like right here, and I'm like not behind yet, so that will definitely affect my playing as I complete my swing. Then I'm going, and I guess here here would be that under parallel that Todd Graves would talk about, and then I guess Mo would be, yeah, somewhere here. That looks like yeah. So because yeah, I'm not under yet enough, so that's why it's causing this. I have come off the line slightly, but as I finish my swing or backswing here, so yeah, this one I'm still kind of high. Like this is still with like kind of my old style, I guess. Yes, it has kind of gone longer than I would like. But looking at the swing, and I have the little squat coming down. I am, still above the line. My hands are relatively back, and here a little bit above, but it's like pretty okay, right? And then here I'm under, and if you see my ass, like in a way, like it kind of came back. So you see, like here, you see that much space, but as I go through the downswing, see, like it comes back to the line. And then here, yes, I'm off, but it's better than before. Spine angle wise, I mean, my whole body has dipped, and it's kind of there, kind of not. I guess relatively, it's okay, and I mean, it's much better than conventional swing where all that stress will go right here to your lower back and just mess it up. So that's like right before impact, it looks like, and I'm kind of on plane seemingly. Then strike, front swing. So my club exits pretty nicely, but my shoulder and my ass has now like completely come off the line. So there are good characteristics, but still not as Mo like yet. So with Mo completing the swing right here, so that would be like the top of his backswing, and his hands are really nicely on the line, and his club face is kind of more like that. And in that sense, like see mine too, right? There's that kind of what I would consider as closeness in a conventional swing, but this is actually more on plane, and it looks beautiful to me now. But now see that's Mo's bump, I guess the transfer, the crossroad, and then you can see how the clip just drops. And here, it looks like Mo's coming off the line slightly as well, but relatively, I think everything else is still in line. And yeah, I mean, you see that he's like under the line right here, and there's a lot of lag I can see, you know, because his left knee has initiated the whole downswing, and as a result, it's giving him the vertical drop and the horizontal tug. And right here, coming to strike. See, one thing with Moe, like he's already pretty damn stable. Like 70 to 80% of his legs are done rotating, and he's already stable. And now he just comes for the strike. And then here, so his exit looks kind of more like this, or a little bit off from the shoulder line, but nevertheless, really nice swing, and the finish and the follow through. So that's my 8-iron, and let me go ahead and bring my driver. Now this is still kind of like the old style where I will kind of cross and go over, but it was a really nice strike, and I just wanted to see how things work out here. So I step, then yeah, it's it needs to go under more. And then I guess right here would be under parallel, but it's not even almost, because like I'm like exactly on the my address plane, and then finishing above the plane. And I seen Todd Grace at a similar position too on his some of his videos. But anyways, and then that's a good thing though. Like if you see how it bends, and right here you can see how my lower body kind of goes and causes the separation. And then I'm still on top, but you can see the leverage that's being held. It's like my wrists are completely bent and just holding that. I'm not like casting early. And right here I'm back online pretty damn perfectly. And at this time my ass has moved quite a lot off the line. But see that? This is really good right here, because you can see how like my left side of the ass is showing now, and the club head has dropped and is shallowing from the previous frame. From here it's kind of still high and behind my above my head, and dropped that much. So it's shallowing, and my ass was kind of much off the line here, but now I'm coming back and going through. This bend is representing the lag, and my legs are relative on the ground. My right is slightly rising maybe, and here's my impact. Now like I have come off the line slightly here, but overall I guess maybe 70% it's like maintained. And then going through, so right here you see the front swing is actually slightly not as clean. Like I come out under, but at least I come out pretty damn parallel. And just this ass off once again, that's what's causing it, I think. So keeping that ass on the line is really critical. And one thing that I was thinking, like if you go with the Graves, like from what I was taught, they talk about having the weight on your balls of your foot. Sorry, just to be clear, it sounded wrong. But so, and then there's this another guy called Greg Laverne, and he has released books called Finish to the Sky. He's also student of Moe. Yeah, play with Moe, and he teaches in Canada right now, and he does the Moe Norman swing. And in his book he talks about having the weight on your instep and heels, and Todd Graves would say insteps and the ball of your feet. Now a lot of all these videos where my ass is not keeping on the line, they're all more on the weight on the balls of my feet. But I've been kind of trying to like fix that, right? Or at least have my ass on the line. So I was reading that Greg Laverne's book again, and I kind of noticed that. So this 6-iron is a result of attempting that. And just to show you, so here I look. Now let me draw my lines. Okay, go. Oh, you know what? My ass is already a little bit. Yeah, the line was a little bit. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you the swing. Okay. So I go in. This is more in too than some of the other videos or swings that you have seen. Now, I think it could be more, but one thing, like, I'm just stepping on the right heel. That's all I'm doing. I'm not consciously moving anything. Nothing on my hands, nothing. But because of my posture and the primary and the secondary tilt and all that setup in the dress, just by stepping on the heels, it's transferring weight and it's causing all these motions. I know a lot of you, like, you guys try to do this consciously, but that's exactly where the problem is too. All this happen naturally. And all you gotta do is walk, just step. So there's my step, and it's going in. And one thing, like, talk graves talk about is, like, they divide it into 1 and 2, like it's like 6 sequences. And the 1 and the 2 is like 1, like the in and then up. And on the up part, they talk about how, the lower body kind of stabilizes and it's just the upper body turning more with the shoulders, and it happens with the right hand. And it coincides with other teachings, even in conventional swing, where like the backswing is kind of like like arrow motion, like when you pull an arrow. And as of being a right-handed, how do you pull an arrow? Like, you gotta pull from your right side, and that's where it kind of matches exactly as Talk Graves would say. So for me, like, I right heel step, and then as I'm like kind of going through it, and I guess when I have to do my 2, that non-rotational lever that Moe used, right? Because of my dress, like sunny side up on my trail arm, like I don't have the second lever, right? So I just pull, and you see the whole swing is so much better than where I was previously. Let me go ahead and bring back the 8 on my right. So on the previous, or like, yeah, previous style of swing that I was kind of doing, which wasn't this. Okay, so yeah, my first move. Okay, on this one it was kind of in, but I don't know, it's kind of similar, huh? Maybe it's not a good example on this one. But still, overall, like, I don't know if you guys can feel, like, this is a 6 iron, whereas this is 8, so this is a little bit more shallow, it's just longer. But the whole motion was so much better. Like, I was more in, and then from here, like, I just folded my right hand, my right side, and then it just got on plane, and look, I stopped right here. That's the end of my backswing. Whereas this, yeah, see the difference? Huge difference. I mean, and see how my ass is off the line, but look at it here. My ass is not off the line. So my backswing has shortened, and I have maintained the line. So, I mean, this is exactly what I have been trying to fix, and I have it right here. And then going through the swing, because I didn't go over like on my right side, the down is so simple, it's so clean, just like Moe or Chandler. You see, it just comes down cleanly, right? It's just bam. And as I'm doing the downswing, I guess, yeah, all I'm doing is just my left knee, just pull on my left. Or Jean Clement would say, you gotta like transfer weight to the left by like, bending into the ground and use the ground to clear your body. Get your body out of the way so that your hands can travel through. And this is exactly what's going on here. So if you see, as I'm going, you see, I haven't finished, but like, I'm already sitting there. And this is what Mo talked about, like, as he's still going back, he's already, starting his downswing. And this is exactly what it is. And you know, like I didn't think to do that, but it all just happened naturally. I'm keeping the ass on the line. My backswing has shortened, and that the proper sequence of weight transfer is happening. All just it's just like all the pieces came together. And then so here like I'm like under the line, and this is really good, right? Like before, like I'll be kind of overish. You see that kind of overish here, but because I don't have that overswing. I mean, yeah, you could maybe call that over, but like you see, like I'm coming back so much better. And then here, you see how under I am. Like here, okay, once again, this is 8, so it is a little bit more vertical than this, but still, I mean, even in comparison, this is more shallow than this one for sure. And then this look right here, and look at the whole time. See here, my ass has come off the line. Here, my ass has not come off the line, and that's the big difference. Like I'm maintaining my posture better, and I'm maintaining my ass on the line, which is really good thing. And I'm rotating, and I have so much lag. Look at that. That's all lag right there. And I'm just coming in for the strike. So with this, this is right before impact. Maybe slightly under, maybe you could say, but overall my ass is still there. Here's slightly post impact. Of course, I don't have like those crazy cameras, so I can't take it like frame by frame. But I think it might have been my hands might have been slightly under, but look at my posture, my ass on the line. I mean, so much better. I mean, let's compare it to here. So I guess here will be right before impact. I'm not on the line, see, but here I'm on the line. So you see the exit. I think in this one, you see, versus my shoulder line, yes, it's parallel to my dress line, which is what we all want, but it's not really parallel to my shoulder line. That's a problem, and that's mainly due to this. Now here, I guess, I do, after impact, I do kind of get out of it as my right side kind of comes through like that, and I stand up. But still, this is a huge improvement versus the swing on the right. So this is exactly what I wanted, and I just have to make sure this is more consistent, and I can do this all the time. So afterwards I came home, and I have tried and tested at home in my garage. And I just have a little setup, and yeah, I think it's mine. Sometimes like when you think you have your swing, but then you kind of lose it. It's so simple though. It's just like Moe said. So right heel, step, and when you step on the right heel, you see how my ass kind of gets behind the line. You see that? And it just kind of moves my left side of the pelvis forward. I mean, because our anatomy is like that, right? If you imagine like, I guess like 2 dots, right pelvis, left pelvis. So my right pelvis is going back. Then naturally that's going to cause the left to go forward without consciously moving the left forward. So that's like what helped my timing. Because before I would like step back with my right heel, but still like with my left, like I would like get on my left ball of the foot and lift the heel. I would do that kind of consciously, kind of like that. But that was like double work and was throwing my timing off almost. So here, like, so 1, I just step and I'm going back, and as I'm continuing, it's just all my right hand, and I'm just like pulling it back. So here, if you look at the position too, and let me go back on this one. And maybe I should draw the lines still here. Let me do that too. Well, this one is drawn. Yeah, this one is. I think I'm hitting an 8 actually, 8 iron on the right. So this is not. Yeah, let me get it more properly. I think more like this. Okay, so here on the left, if you see, that's around where I'm at. On the right too, I'm in a pretty similar position. My hands are on the line, and you could see that club face, and it's not like overextended like before. And the biggest thing, my ass is on the line. And again, the initiator is the left knee. Just, like I realize as I'm like right heeling and my right pelvis is moving back, like weight is kind of moving forward too in a way. And that's one thing that's related. If you look at Moe's behind video that Todd Graves took, like he's what did I call it? It's a one of the anatomy terminology, like sex fulcrum, no, not fulcrum, like, so it's like right in the middle, right above your ass. It's like some bone. And on the backswing, like, this actually goes forward. And that's exactly what you want. And this is that kind of motion because the right pelvis goes back, the left pelvis goes forward. And as a result, like, that's my rotation. So I don't have to try to like do another thing with the left. My left is already finished. So now I just have to fire once I do that. So once I'm here, I just fire with the left. And see the pull, you see? It just pulled everything. Like, look at my legs, right? Look here, and then my left knee, I'm just pulling it because right here I already like stepped the ground with my left foot. Because in order to, kind of like throw a punch, that's exactly what I'm doing here. When you throw a punch too, if you're right-handed, like you gotta step with your left and then throw a punch. So here's my left foot already stepping in because my right pelvis has gone back. So now I just throw with my left. And you see how just, just comes back really similarly. So, maybe a little bit vertical here, you could say, but like here, right? I'm like back on plane. And my head just stays still and the whole body just turns. You see the wrinkles on my shirt? See how much I'm turning? With everything, you see, my ass is on the line and my spine is relatively more kept than before. So it's really simple, like Mo said. Like, if you just put yourself in the position, the proper position, because Mo said addresses like 80%. So, as Todd Graves will teach, the primary tilt, secondary tilt, your width, you gotta be wider. These conventional swings like short stances, no. Your weight's gonna travel outside. That's why with Bubba Watson, like his weight always travels outside, I know. And he just winds up crazily, but no, you don't want that weight on the outside of your feet. It's gotta be within. That's why you gotta have a wider stance so that your weight will play within your feet, not outside of your feet. And yeah, just give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a proper dress. And these conventional swing dresses, I totally disagree. It's not proper. Because, if it's proper, if you're trying to chop a wood, so you have this lumber stick in front of you, and you got a cabin, and you gotta fire up your fireplace. Okay, you gotta chop lumber. Okay, that's exactly what you want to do. Then do that. But that's not golf swing. But that's what everyone's doing. So you gotta stop trying to chop wood. You gotta chop the tree. You gotta like strike that sideways. Like imagine like you're gonna like just cut through that tree. That's what you gotta do. But everyone's trying to chop, vertically, not horizontally. So, I think I'm getting it. And this, the way I'm shifting the weight exclusively on my heels, like by having the weight on the heels, like I guess one thing Sean Clement said too, our arms are about 9% of our body weight. So both arms, it's almost 20%. So, and then you have like this club in your hand. So it's a really heavy thing that's traveling right in front of your body. This motion, this force that you're creating. That's why, more so that you need the stability, which is why Mo always said the legs are stabilizers, and it's why for stability. And it's just like that demolisher, like like think that it's like this machinery, and it's this huge like ball, and this machinery, like they will like rotate and they will just throw it at a building to destroy it or something like that, you know. What you might call it, some sort of demolisher type. But that's also exactly what a golf swing is. Like in the middle, it's firm, it's strong and stable, that it's able to allow this heavy object. So in that case, you know, this club head would be that kind of ball, right? And our arm and the shaft would be the like the metal chain. They'll be, you know, throwing it in a circle. And that means this needs to be stable, which is why Todd Graves talk about the brake system, which is also why Moe had brake system. You know, he limited his motions, and that's a side tilt, as well as, you know, having that foot flared out about 15 degrees or 30 degrees. You know, yeah, more the better. I mean, that way, like, you know, you're maximizing your turn, but also you're limited on how much you can turn, so you don't overturn on your back. So yeah, you know, if you give yourself all these variables and then put yourself in a position to have a certain result, proper result, you know, then there's no reason why you can't have a great golf swing. And I'm not totally there yet, but like this is a huge change from the swings that I have been doing. I have never had this kind of short backswing. It's always traveled longer, and like the ass coming off the line, yeah, biggest problem. But you know, both of these swings tell me that right now, like I think, you know, I have it. I understand what I need to do, and it's actually really simple things I'm doing. Like I said, the right heel, and then the right arm bending, and then just left knee and left heel, and just fire. So that's the kind of sequencing thought and a swing thought that I'm using right now, and it's yielding this result. Given the fact that you had proper address to give yourself, you know, this kind of result too. So hopefully, yeah, this was helpful to you guys out there trying, you know, the Moe Norman swing. And you know, the biggest thing is, you know, the separation. You gotta separate the upper body and the lower body. And in that sense, you know, I think like you can see how it's being done here. It's being done with, you know, just proper sequencing and proper weight transfer. And the body just knows what it needs to do. So anyways, if you have any questions, you know, please let me know. And I'm gonna try to like see if I could post some videos of me playing too eventually. I've seen other people do that and it looks really fun, but also looks like a lot of work, and I don't know if I can do all that. But for now, you know, I gotta still try to hit the practice and, you know, get my swing more refined. And you know, if I get a chance, I'm gonna go out there and, you know, test it on the course again. So yeah, good luck out there.